What is going on, good people? We are back with some breaking news. It's broken. We're going to try to fix it. We're going to take all the pieces. We're going to get some super glue, some of that Gorilla Glue. We're going to put all the pieces together.
Is it broken that way, or is it broken like Matt Hardy? I'm just wondering.
You know, I think we're still going to try to fix it a little bit, because I don't know. But the breaking news coming out is that Impact is going to rebrand to Global Force. Ideally, with a name change, like we've talked about before, I would like something kind of completely original, but I'm not completely opposed to this, depending how they do it. I've talked about Global Force before. They seem to have run their company similarly to Impact, how Impact used to, especially with their house shows. I went to one of their house shows, and if it didn't say Global Force Wrestling, I would have thought it was an old school Impact house show. That's how similar they were, which is a good thing. I definitely like how they ran that. And I do like the kind of ideas that Global Force had and how they were originally running their company, where it was supposed to be a global, they were working with other promotions. It wasn't just Global Force itself. They were, teaming up with other companies and kind of doing something new, something that other promotions don't really do. Other promotions kind of are out for themselves, whereas Global Force was trying to, work with other companies, make deals with other companies, run shows with other companies, things like that, which I think is a great idea. And also, I gotta say it. We joke about how the prestigious Global Force title isn't really prestigious, but we got to remember there was a time when the Impact title wasn't prestigious. Like you got to build it up. But anyway, we just wanted to come on and talk about the rumored change of Impact to Global Force. DJ, any initial thoughts or thoughts in general?
By the way, this was reported by the Tennessean, the newspaper in Nashville, and Impact retweeted it. So that's where I got the information from. But I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. And I think it's ridiculous. In my opinion, well, and this is just me anyway. I thought it was dumb to change from TNA to Impact Wrestling, simply because you don't take, from a marketing standpoint, you don't take 15 years of building a company and for no reason change it. So I thought that was dumb in the first place. And now with Global Force coming in, I think it's even dumber, because I feel like Global Force is trying to capitalize on everything that was built from TNA. Now, don't get me wrong, logically, to me it doesn't really make any sense anyway, because Jeff Jarrett is, I guess, again, the owner of Impact, Global Force, whatever we're calling it now. And I get it that he wants to, I get that he's bringing in Global Force and bringing in Impact and kind of merging it. But I guess my biggest issue is, why would you want, like, if you started the company, why would you change the name of the company that you started? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and he might not even be behind the name change. But I just thought it was kind of stupid, in my opinion, to just basically take 15 years of TNA being a company and saying, you know what, we're just going to scrap that and go into being Impact, or we're just going to scrap that and go into being Global Force, because you can't forget that was there. Just because WWE changed it, I mean, WWF changed to WWE doesn't mean we forget what happened in WWF.
Well, I think WWE is a big difference because they kind of had to.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. Like they had to do it. TNA didn't have to do this. There was no like I didn't feel like TNA was that tarnished to where you had to go and or that rusted or whatever you want to say, or there was that much controversy surrounding it that you need to change the name anyway. I thought it was stupid. And now Slammiversary 15 doesn't make any sense to me because it's supposed to be celebrating 15 years of what now? 15 years of TNA? Well, that doesn't exist anymore, apparently. 15 years of Impact? Well, it hasn't even been around for 15 years as Impact. 15 years of Global Force? Shut up. Stop it. It just now I think I would have been fine with this coming out. I mean, I still wouldn't have been fine with it, but I would have been better with it coming out after Slammiversary.
Yeah, I will. I feel like, TNA, Impact, whatever, isn't tarnished, but I feel like they always want to change and evolve, but I think they just sometimes do it the wrong way. Like, I think this is them just trying to evolve and become something better. They're just doing it the wrong way. I would have, if it was me, I would have gone back to TNA.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason not
to. The one thing I do understand about this from a money saving standpoint is that you don't have to change belts all over to Impact Wrestling. Now, I do understand that. I do understand just keeping the Global Force belts and then changing the name of Global Force. I understand that concept. Now you don't have to buy new belts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rabbit thoughts?
I mean, me personally, to me, I don't care what the name of any, like I always said, you can name it whatever you want to name it. Long as it's got professional wrestling going on when I turn it on and watch it, right? So now, if you change the name first, what's blowing me about this whole thing of new regime that's going on since the beginning of the 8 months or 6 months they've been there, it's enough time for us to give our grade on how they've been running it compared to what we've been watching before that, man. And what we've been watching before they came in was way more pure wrestling, way more physical wrestling, way more continuity, way more better storylines. There's no doubt about it that the show itself has dropped as far as those things concerned. That ain't even any shows no more at all. So,
and it was more consistent too. Like week to week, it was more consistent to me.
Exactly. You rolled a storyline. You actually knew what was going on. Now you come on here, you turn on. One day is Impact. Next day, everybody run around with Global Force belts. We don't know what's going on here. Then you switch your names. If Jeff Jarrett was running this, man, which he not, he would never change the name because he the one started the name TNA, Total Nonstop Wrestling. So he would have never changed it. That'd been dumb for him to even do that when his father thought it. Him and his father started that name. You know what I'm saying? So I doubt if he was the one to pull the trigger on something like that. So second, TNA itself has been putting down some straight physical, nice matches for the last 2-3 years, right? So it's basically been an alternative to WWE. To me, it's over. There's no more alternative. The alternative game is over. WWE has now monopolized the wrestling game, period. They got their hands on everything. This right here, what we're watching now, it's not going to last. I don't know what's going on there. It's just not. And then who run it? I think his name Ed or something now. We're going to start tracking this person now like everybody did Dixie. I hope he got a Twitter feed, Ed, whatever your name, supposed to be the vice president, executive vice president. We're going to start following somebody. Somebody going to start having to be accountable for the nonsense that they putting on, man. They're starting to get carried away with the storylines just jumping from side to side every week. You got different people jumping in and out. You don't see them no more.
And
like, come on, man.
That was a good excuse when Anthem came in, first and this new era thing started for months now.
It doesn't make any sense. And then you come in there and you got people busting their ass for the last 15 years like a Storm and Gail Kim. And now whoever going in the Hall of Fame this year doesn't even matter. It's just like useless. It's like, what is that for? For a company that don't exist no more. So this has gotten to be real ridiculous, to be honest with you. And I don't know where we're going now. Once we start turning into something, and then on top of that, the people that owning it is in Canada. So to me, it's over. Like I said, the WWE has now monopolized wrestling, to be honest with you. Because once you're based in Canada, you don't even have to show this here in America. You don't even, what is going on here, man? I mean, we left with nothing in America itself. What other than WWE? And that's sad to me in the state of professional wrestling. If you love professional wrestling, there's no way you could just love WWE and don't love to watch all wrestling. And if there's nothing else there that's professional, that's not good, man. Just being honest. And when Bruce first came on this show and said TNA was dead, he knew what he was talking about. They already knew what they was doing, So, to me, the name change is not even a problem. It's just that everything else that's going on is a problem. Because you could change the name to anything, to be honest with me, it wouldn't be no problem. But to change it to Global Force, to something that's just been in existence about a year and a half at the most, now you have no lineages, you have no history, you have no nothing. So now you're going to Slammiversary. What is that now? A company that's in history? This has gotten to be nonsense, man. Hey, Casey.
I mean, I'm actually starting to see. It's actually been out for 3 years, so. But anyway, I'm actually starting to see some kind of parallels to back when WWE, came out of the initial brand split. When it's similar now because now Impact has all these titles, too many titles. There's too many people. It feels like there's too many, writers and creators in the back, with so many ideas, and they don't know what to do with them. And, there's too many titles. They don't know what to do with them. It needs to be, I think this in the end could be a good thing, eliminate a lot of the titles. I would eliminate a lot of the people in the back. You only need a good, small group of writers and, creative to make a good show. I mean, if you look at a lot of other independent promotions that do awesome, really good shows, they have a small team. I think that's part of it. But yeah, I don't know. I think the name change in the kind of grand scheme of things, I don't think is a huge deal. It's how they run the company, where they go from here. I still
one thing too, Casey, and Casey gets on me about this point, but I'm gonna say it anyway. That I hate about Global Force Wrestling is I feel like they're like using TNA to promote Global Force Wrestling now.
Oh, it's done. They have succeeded with that. That's a done deal.
Like that's what frustrated me is like it was kind of like GFW couldn't get their own TV deal after they did 8 million TV tapings. And now, which I don't know where they go now. I guess I don't know if they're gonna have like somewhere to put them, or they're gonna put them in like a DVD or something. But
well, I mean that kind of goes to show how hard it is to get a TV deal.
True.
Exactly. And nobody was getting a DC credit for swimming around, keeping them 16 years, like it was easy or something.
I mean, even like DJ can, agree with me on this. Even a show like Ring of Honor, who, hardcore fans love, even they only have a small TV deal in the,
And they had that because the company that owns them is the TV company.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
That's my point of this is just getting sad, man, for wrestling fan in general. I mean, that's just over the top. You know, when WWE changed their name, they was forced, and they ain't do nothing but change a letter. And he changed the letter not for that. He wanted the people to think it's not wrestling no more; it's entertainment. So he put the word entertainment in that. So he wanted to go the entertainment route. That was his whole thing. He got that from Vince Russo. So that's how that began. That's the problem with the problem with them monopolizing the wrestling world is just that's going to be a problem because people grow up to just watch WWE. They think that's how wrestling supposed to be, and it's just not how it's supposed to be, man. There's other ways for it to be done. And if Impact turned into a global force and it start changing and all this, I think this is about time. The leash is short. You know what I'm saying? It's no stability. At least Dixie had stability with this thing, man. It was on TV every week, man. She
And that
had
was
it
the
in
thing. Like that's what's gonna make it. Like let's just say, and I know everybody says that this isn't possible, but anything is possible, especially in the world of wrestling. Let's just say, now Global Force wants to make a run at trying to compete with WWE or trying to be that alternative, even in the ratings aspect. Now it's really hard because now they have to go back and promote themselves as Global Force and
exactly,
basically just start over again
exactly,
when they already had something that was already built. Not only that was already built for 15 years and had already, made waves in the ratings anyway.
you start completely over. But the thing is what they always wanted to do was use the infrastructure that Dixie worked hard to get when you work in 120 something countries on TV and all that stuff. That infrastructure was crucial. And so all they had to do was just change the name and use the infrastructure that's already in place.
Shoot,
You know,
I maybe would have been better off having Billy Corgan on the doggone company. At least he wouldn't have changed the Global Force.
you never know. He probably changed some old wild name too. He wouldn't have left for TNA.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still surprised that they are changing it to Global Force rather than leaving it Impact or turning it back to TNA.
Well, because too, at least Impact was dealing with TNA.
Yeah,
like there's still that connection.
Technically, Jeff Jarrett did create both. He did create Impact, TNA, whatever, and he did create Global Force. But I would have thought they would have gone to the traditional. It's just weird that.
Exactly.
They even could have did if they wanted to, if he really wanted to keep them both going, a GFW TNA type of a thing that they did with the NWA early on.
Yeah. Or like Global Impact or something that keeps that Impact in there or that TNA in there to kind of remind you, yeah, this is still, Impact or this is still TNA, whatever. I don't know. Do you guys have any other thoughts on this?
I just think it's hard to start. Like now they got to start over, and it's hard to start from the bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
And Global Force knows that more than anybody right now.
I don't know.
That's what's scaring me the most. It just seems like when you start trying stuff like this, man, it's like you throwing stuff out there. Seems like to me, it's almost over or something. I don't know what's going on.
It's another reboot, but it's too much of a reboot.
A reboot and a reboot inside of a reboot.
I'm trying to look at the bright side. I mean, and I don't want to say this because I don't want this to happen, but it's almost like when WCW died, and then like TNA came out not too long after that. On the bright side, of maybe another company will build up. I mean, that's just that is how it is.
DZ Dub.
And I don't know, but yeah, that was our discussion on Impact apparently changing to Global Force, which they should have just stayed two different companies. They did each other. I mean, I'll be okay with this if they do it. Like I said, if they do it right, and if they use more of the Global Force roster, like me and DJ said, over the past couple, weeks or months or whatever, they've only used a small portion of the Impact or of the Global Force roster that they have. And hopefully they use more of those guys, because if you have them, why not use them? More, we like to see more guys. We like to see, more guys come in, and ladies too.
Yeah, you can't keep saying new guys and then don't see them no more. I mean, that's a waste of time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that came in I'd like to see more of, and I don't even see them no more. They came in like once or twice.
Yeah. But anyway, we will be back shortly or longly, depending on when you watch it, for our predictions for Slammiversary. But we will see you then. As always, follow us on Twitter at ICW_podcast. Like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow Rabid on, I can't remember his Twitter. DJ remembers it. DJ, what is it?
Rabid313.
Rabid, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just testing y'all. But we will see you on the Flippity Dippity. That's right. I can say it on an Impact show. I don't usually get to do it on Impact shows. But we will see you on the Flippity Dippity. Oh, yes, sir.